Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the NS9 Postgame show powered by Primanti Brothers. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo. With me, we have Neil.
How's it
Hi,
going?
Neil.
Hey.
It's going. How you doing, though?
I'm doing all right. And end of a long work week to get to relax with a nice, quiet Pirates game. I'll say that.
Yeah. I wasn't even supposed to do the postgame tonight.
Yeah,
Tonight was
where is
supposed to
Ryan?
be Ryan.
I
And
haven't done a
Ryan
show with
wasn't
Ryan in a
feeling
while.
well.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I'm
Fair
pissed.
enough.
He wasn't feeling well. I said, you know what? I know I'm not doing anything tonight. I'm going to be watching the game anyways. I'll fill in. Stupid me.
Is he actually?
Wasn't a great game.
Is he actually feeling sick, or he's just trying to get out of this?
No, he actually is. He texted earlier. I want to say like 11, 12-ish around about the time. He's like, I might need a backup. I'll let you know. And like at 2:00, he was like, yeah, I'm out.
Fair enough.
So,
Fair enough.
I mean, we could be giving him too much credit. This could have been a whole big ploy, but
He knew.
I believe him.
He knew once Adam Frazier was back in town that things were going to go down.
Yeah. Actually, that's the thing too. Adam Frazier was in town. I could see him wanting to do this game. And Adam Frazier hit a home run today.
He did.
But yeah, Pirates lose 8-3. No sandwiches for everyone. I do apologize for the three of you that are watching tonight. Yeah, this wasn't even an entertaining loss in the sense of it was even so bad that we're like riled up to talk about it. But before we do really talk about it, let's of course tell you about BetOnline. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. Think you know your stuff? Get in on our $200,000 mega contest and pick 5 games against the spread every week for your chance to win weekly prizes and a share of $200,000. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website today, get on the action. BetOnline, the game starts here. So, like I was saying, Neil, I labeled this like the Pittsburgh Pirates put us to sleep, and I just felt like that's how tonight really was.
Yeah. No, it wasn't an entertaining game. Like the Royals just kind of scored runs because we gave them runs, and then the offense was dead for the vast majority of this game.
Yeah.
It's not great. It's not a good game. I was surprised to see Luis Ortiz struggle so much.
Yeah. He's coming off like back-to-back starts where he looked really, really good as well today. I mean, it's really too like the second inning. The second inning, just everything fell apart. He looked pretty good the first inning.
Yeah, looked
and
great.
then the third inning, he struck out the side. That second inning, though, everything came loose. And it really, I mean, of course, guy was on base, but like it really picked up too when he allowed that error to Adam Frazier.
Yeah, because even it looked bad, and he got the easy out, like it was going to be 2 outs. So you're thinking, okay, he'll maybe give up a run, but this should be a decent inning. And then all the wheels fell off the train.
All the wheels.
6 runs, so again, he gave up a home run at the end of it. It was bad. He couldn't get guys out, and the Royals weren't even hitting him very hard. It was just him not executing pitches, and he didn't look good.
Yep. Babe upped quite a bit. Like you mentioned, it wasn't as if they were just hitting him up, just making a lot of contact, doing all the right things. Just the Kansas City Royals are a good baseball team.
Yes, they are.
And they showed it today. And again, like they also did hit the long ball a few times too to really bury the Pirates.
I mean,
that's the inning.
Really we said he didn't get hit hard, and then Salvi hit an absolute nuke off of him. So like, it's unfortunate, but I'm still okay with Ortiz. I think the huge debate is who gets that 5th rotation spot, him or Falter, next year. Yeah. And I can kind of see arguments for both sides, to be honest. I could see why you'd want Falter, and I could see why you'd want Ortiz. I'm not sure where I'm at right now.
Yeah. The good thing is we don't have to decide yet, but that is something that I know I discussed here, I think the last time I was with you, I think we might have it the last Luis Ortiz start. I think it was us, and we talked about it. It's one of the things where it's like, Luis Ortiz has been like there's moments where you look at Luis Ortiz as a starter and say, you know what, this guy can do it. And there's times where like there's that strand of like 3 starts in a row where just like tonight, like the one big inning is where he just implodes. But outside of that, he looks very confident. And today it was an inning, which in that 3-run span, that 3-game span, it was very early on. I felt too, it was always like the first or second or third inning, and then he finished it out. Today, he didn't give you the length. It was still only 4 innings he lasted. He did give up 7 runs, only 4 earned, two walks, 5 hits, 2 of them being homers, and 5 strikeouts. But yeah, like the one thing you're talking about here is, like this is why like next month it's kind of big for Luis Ortiz. Like if you cap this season off on a high note, entering into spring training next year, saying, "Hey, I already did this," that could be big for him. But tonight kind of just shows those like mixed results that you're just not sure really what he is.
Yeah. And I would say, like, even with blowups like this, because he is prone to this, he has a bit of a home run problem. I think that's been pretty consistent all year. And like I still think if you're rolling into next year and Luis Ortiz is your 5th starter, that's a pretty solid rotation you got going. I think as a back end starter, he's about as good as you can hope for. And I think Falter, if he performs like he is this year, is the same deal. But no, he's definitely prone to these blowups where his control's not very good, and he gives up 2 home runs today. One to a Pirates legend.
Yeah, I was going to add to that. Giving up a home run to Sal Perez, that happens.
Yeah.
Sal Perez is a very good catcher, and he's still a good catcher and a hitting catcher as well.
Yes, he is.
Giving up a home run to Adam Frazier, that's not one to be too proud about.
No.
Yeah. So not a good day for Luis Ortiz. Mixed results throughout the game. Again, there's moments where he looked really, really good. Again, going back to that 3rd inning where he struck out the side, like he looked really good. The 1st inning, he looked pretty good also. Just 14 pitches, 1-2. Well, I guess he did walk a guy. 4 batters he faced, 14 pitchers, struck out 1, no hits. Like again, like there's reasons why you look at Luis Ortiz and say, being a back end starter, being number 5, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with it.
Yeah. I mean, considering like where you found him, like he kind of like came out of nowhere in Double A a few years ago, kind of flirted with top 100 prospect lists, but like he was never like some big prospect, can't miss prospect guy. So like, I think getting a productive major league player out of him in any capacity, whether that be in the bullpen next year, where he was good this year, like he was pretty darn good in the bullpen. I'm also okay with that. Like like you got to find value somewhere. And I think Ortiz has been pretty darn good especially considering how bad he was last year. Like this year has been really, really solid from him.
Yeah. Yeah. I do want to add perspective what we're talking about. As a starter, this is before entering today, but as a starter, 69.2 innings, he has a 3.10 ERA as a starter this year.
That's good.
That's much better than number 5.
I thought it was going to be higher than that, to be honest. Like I genuinely thought that'd be higher.
And with that too, like he had those like air quotes starts where it might have been just a few, like he didn't have the length at first, so it wasn't going like to the 2nd or 3rd time through the order. So it's a little bit skewed there, but still, but 3.10 ERA, batters are hitting 198 off of him as a starter in those 69.2 innings. That's good stuff. So again, like it's very mixed right now. I don't really know yet. Today, just another example of that where, he gives up 7 runs, 4 earned in just 4 innings. And it was due to the one big inning. And I just feel like anytime he has a bad outing, it's only because of one inning. Like that's his MO this year. Anytime it's a bad start, it's been just like today. You take one inning out and you say, wow, that was good. But that one inning just completely does him. And for the most part, especially with this team and its offense, like today, does the team in. But then he goes off and has back-to-back starts. Like he had the past 2 starts, and it's like, wow, this guy's really, really good.
Yeah.
End of the day, though, he's after today, it's going to be like a mid-3 ERA he has in 70 74 innings basically.
Mhm.
You take that all day long.
You do. And that's like I said, I think as a starter, he has value. In the bullpen, he has value. And I mean, it's the nature of being a back end starter, I think, where
Mhm.
you're not consistent enough. That's why you're not a high paid guy. You're not the ace. And sometimes you're just going to have days like this. And, we might be having a completely different discussion if he just throws the ball to first correctly.
Right.
If
You
that
get
error
Adam
doesn't
Frazier out
happen,
there.
or even if he eats it like that, we might be talking about a completely different inning and a different completely out inning. So it's hard for me to get too mad at Ortiz, because I've just been impressed with what he's done so far this year.
Right. I'm with you. I'm with you. Today wasn't good. It wasn't good. And so he has to lay on that. Like, it just wasn't a good game from him. He had to be better. And again, like you excuse, like, if that error doesn't happen, he could have had a better outing, but the error was him as well. Like he caused it. He was the one that caused that big inning by having that error. But right. I mean, Adam Frazier hits a blooper, just a dribble, I should say, really down like third baseline. Almost like you're patting it. Okay, this is Adam Frazier. Just that there's an easy out, and he doesn't make the throw to first. So that allows, guys on. Next man up gets a hit, easy score because the guy's now on third instead of second where we should be. Like, should be one guy on second, another out. Now there's a guy on first and third. That hit scores now. And again, like they just started getting baby at that point in time. And then yes, Sal Perez goes deep to cap off that inning.
Yeah.
Not good.
No. And what I would say is you really do have to get Robbie Grossman, Yuli Gurriel, and Adam Frazier out. Like, these guys haven't been hitting well all year, and you do have to go get these guys out. And he didn't. Like, Kyle Isbell should not have 2 hits off you tonight. This bottom of the order, like 6 through 9, is really, really bad. So ultimately, it's up to Ortiz to get those guys out, and he didn't, and that's what killed him. But yeah, again, very hard to be too upset with him.
Agree. That's probably just the way to put it. It wasn't good enough, but overall in the season, it's been mixed, but he's been better more than he has been bad.
Yeah.
And again, I think the thing to highlight is when he has been bad, it's really been one inning. But that could be a reason, as we're talking about Luis Ortiz. And the fantastic part about this team going into 2025 is the depth of the pitching, especially looking at the rotation without even adding anyone yet. That, hey, maybe Luis Ortiz is just best served as that role he was doing earlier this year, because that is a lot of value. Like, maybe Bailey Falter is a number 5 starter. Luis Ortiz can be in that, long role when needed and such, and give you 2 or 3, 1, 2, 3, innings when needed. We'll find out. But overall, it's nice to see Luis Ortiz in the starting role this year. What he's done so far makes me feel better about him also. Like, let's just say that this year has been good for him, because I think we were a lot of times writing him off as just a player. And he's shown that there's truly value in him. So take that for what it is.
He's performed well in the bullpen and in the rotation. Like, no matter what the team's asked of him this year, he's done his job. And so I'm excited to see him. And I like this pitching depth because you can internally fix the bullpen without straining too much money-wise. I think is a nice thing. Like, if Ortiz has to slot into that bridge role, or even if you want to slot him in for a 1 inning, 7th inning type, 6th inning type role, he's probably going to be good there too. So it's a good problem to have.
It is. I do just want to point out today too, he had the slider going 6 swing and misses with that, although it also got hit. So that was a mixed there also. But other than that, his sinker was just, his fastball was getting eaten alive today also.
Yeah.
So, as mentioned, he comes in. It's a 7-0 game as he leaves. Let's talk about Wentz a little bit.
Okay.
He's one that comes in next. I mean, we don't really have to talk much about offense. We'll talk about later because it all came in the 9th after the Pirates put us to sleep. But yeah, Joey Wentz comes in, and I don't want to say this is interesting, but he's the new guy. And if we're going to say anything about Cherington, this team, and especially when it comes to pitching and relievers, let's give them an opportunity to prove themselves at this
Yeah.
point. I think we've eaten enough crow on, well, this guy sucks. Why are we entertaining him? And then you get a Dennis Santana who says, hey, you know what? I'm just going to not allow runs since the middle of July. And so like Joey Wentz comes over. Tyler, I know, talked about him a lot. His last time he appeared. Today he does appear again. Did what he needed to do. He was productive for the team. Goes 2 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. What are your thoughts?
It was interesting. I was kind of hoping for like a few like more whiffs. I think he only got 1 of this changeup. I was intrigued because he had high strikeout numbers with the Tigers coming in, and so I'm looking for like high strikeout relievers. I think those guys would be good. I'm surprised that he's using his changeup so much. It played like the changeup looked good, but that was the most pitch he used most. But really, I'm intrigued by the cutter. That's the pitch I want to see him throw more often. So I thought he was fine. I thought he looked just fine. But it's also really hard to tell when it's kind of a blowout game. You know what I mean? It's hard to really gauge how well he's doing. But good 2 innings by him.
Yeah, no complaints. Back-to-back outings where he was effective. I can't remember off the top of my head. I want to say I could be wrong, but I think it was just 2 whiffs his last time out, because I do remember that was my takeaway. Even though I wasn't on the post game, was like, well, it wasn't a whole lot of swing and misses. Today was just 1 also. So, and again, just something you're looking at. But you don't only have to be effective by having swing and miss stuff. But yeah, like you mentioned, today was just 1 on the changeup. But yeah, he goes 2 innings, holds them. He's new. We're going to get a few more weeks to see him, right? Evaluate him, see if there's anything there for next year, obviously. But yeah, he did what he needed to do. Then it turns over to Kyle Nicholas. I think everyone kind of knows my stance on him. I need to see a lot more from him to be comfortable with him. He didn't do the stuff today that leaves me uncomfortable, right? It wasn't a bunch of wild pitches. He didn't walk anybody. He goes 2 innings, 2 hits, though. That homer to Adam.
Yeah.
Frazier.
He's been. We've been talking a lot about like pitchers like being reliable. Like, and I remember like a few weeks back, Kyle Nicholas was one of the few reliable ones, but he's kind of backslidden too in terms of results. And tonight is another example of that, where another home run. No, he hasn't looked his best recently, and he didn't look very good tonight either. Like, again, and Adam Frazier was a starting all-star for us. You can't be giving up home runs to 2024 Adam Frazier. He's just not that player anymore, you know?
He's not, and he never was that player ever also.
No.
It wasn't like he was taking advantage of the short porch at PNC and just, hitting bombs. And to go to that, like, he has a 576 OPS on the year. He's batting 205. So, yeah, Adam Frazier's not that guy anymore. I mean, it happens, and it's not as if Kyle Nicholas's inefficiencies are there because he gives up the long ball a lot or a lot of hits. Like you were talking about that stretch, he'd have a good stretch here where he was looking effective. But it was still, to me, a lot of, I don't want to say smoke and mirrors either, because like he was good. Guys weren't hitting him, but it just, he walks to, I don't feel comfortable for one, if it's not a clean inning, which that's not what the case today, right? But like, I don't ever feel comfortable if it's not a clean inning. And it just seems like he makes his own problems by walking people, the wild pitches, the just hitting batters, just. But again, that's not what happened today, though. He does give up the run, a couple of hits there also.
You are right. Like, that is I just feel like just because we've seen it get so much better, because I remember last year, and I remember the Skeens debut game, that all I can think of was like, you know what? It's not nearly as bad as it used to be. So I'm hoping for the development there, but I do think you're right. That's going to always be like a little hole, like a little problem in his game, where it's kind of like Holderman, where like even when he's on and he's pitching well, you don't really feel comfortable when he's on the mound. Like when Holderman was running like that sub-2 ERA, like a sub 150, he got himself into a lot of hairy situations, and I think Nicholas is just going to be the same.
Yeah. Brucky closes it out. 1 inning, 1 strikeout, call it a day. But also, like, to your effect, at that point in time, it was over. Was it really?
Yeah.
Were the Royals really trying more or less at that point in time? Is it just let's go up the plate, let's get this one over with? But hey, Brucky is a guy who's been injured for most of the year. He's come back. It's been shaky, but you saw what he did last year. You want to see him finish the season pretty strong because I think he was a big part of this bullpen coming into this year of why you thought they'd be successful. Obviously, you didn't get that because of the injury, so he was lost. But as you're heading into 2025, that's what the end of this month is going to be about, right? Not playing for really results so much right now. So how's Brucky going to finish? You want to see him get back to like where he was. It hasn't been good so far. Today, he was definitely more effective.
Yeah. I don't have too much to say about him, but I'll take the 3 whiffs in 1 inning.
Yeah.
It's been a lot better than he has been because he's really struggled to get back into it, which isn't really a surprise since how much he missed so much of this year. But no, he looked fine tonight.
And also like the nature of the injury.
Yeah, it's nerve stuff, right?
Yeah,
like that's nasty stuff. You don't want to be messing with that. So no, I hope he's back to Ken Baraki like we remember him.
Right. He's been looking more like the Jester, but I'll take Prince by the end of the year, so that way we can maybe get the King back next year. So that's the pitching side. As mentioned, we'll talk about the offense here also. There wasn't a whole lot of it. Again, at the very first part of it, Brian Reynolds got a double early on. Then that ended. I think Cruz struck out. McCutchen struck out. It started with a Kiner Falefa strikeout. So the Pirates start off with a 3K inning with a double sprinkled in there. Very much what the Pittsburgh Pirates of old have been. And I say that because the offense by no means is good, but it's been better than what it was before. And tonight was just like the perfect example of like May, April Pittsburgh Pirates offense, where it's 1 run and they find a way to score 3 when it doesn't matter. So it helps the stats. But all in all, at the end of the day, this offense was just putrid.
It's one of those days, man. Like this team is really, really, really struggles to hit the baseball. I mean, getting carved up by Alec Marsh of all people is just one of those. Like, I feel like this game has happened a lot where it's just some not great strikeout pitcher just running roughshod through our lineup. It was 11 strikeouts in 5.1 innings. I mean, he looked untouchable today, and I know because he was playing against me in my fantasy playoff game today, so it really hurt.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. So I don't want to get into it too much, but yes, every pitcher who's been thrown my way has been prime Max Scherzer. But yeah, no, Alex Marsh, you really got to hit Alec Marsh. Like 4.52 ERA at the end of this day, and he looked like he was untouchable. 18 whiffs in less than 6 innings. Like he's putting up Jared Jones kind of numbers on us, and he does not have Jared Jones kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah. Again, the very early Pittsburgh Pirates is exactly who showed up tonight. And the thing about that is this can happen and does happen to every single team. It's not as if like this is just some anomaly like, hey, only the Pittsburgh Pirates could allow Marsh to strike out 11 and 5.1 and do this. I mean, every team has it. It's just that the amount of times the Pittsburgh Pirates do this is the problem and what gets annoying in the struggle. And again, like you're talking about, runners in scoring position as well. They were 3 for 11 today, only because of the 9th. They were 1 and 8 coming into the 9th. And they left 10 on. That's like the thing also. I want to say in this sense, to put it in perspective, they had 9 hits on the day.
They did.
You go back and think about this game. I don't know where the 9 hits came from.
Yeah, right.
Like it's very surprising. Like there was
12 base runners.
Maybe 4, maybe 5. And it's like, no, there actually was 9 hits made today. Though a good portion, we'll talk here in a second, came in the 9th. But like they just can't ever string them together. It's, 1 this inning, 3 outs. 1 the next inning, 3 outs.
It's actually different because usually what happens is they have their offense like in 1 inning and the rest of the game is completely dead. So this was just like spreading everything out and then not finishing the job. Because I think you're right. There were one for 8 going into the 9th. Then Cruz knocks in a run. Reynolds knocks in a run. But no, like the at-bats didn't look good. And I think it's right. It's just it happens so frequently where the Pirates just don't look ready for whatever the pitcher is throwing at them, and it's a shame. Like each of our first 4 guys in the lineup struck out twice tonight.
Yeah. Yep. 14 strikeouts on the day for the Pirates, 3 walks, 9 hits. So again, just not good, and nothing strung along until the 9th inning when also ex-former Bucko Chris Stratton enters the game. And again, you're down 8-1. This game's over.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put this on the Pirates don't give up, which that's one thing we've been saying for quite some time. And for the most part, I do feel that way. They didn't just lay down, but again, it's Chris Stratton. He's not the same Chris Stratton as he was also, pre-Royals, pre-Cardinals, with the Pirates even. But, he comes in, Nick Gonzalez flies it. Then Brian De La Cruz comes up. Brian De La Cruz singles. I go, okay, well, there's a guy getting on base. Then Jared Triolo gets hit, Jared Triolo had another hit today. And I just mentioned that because, again, I'm just talking a little about Jared Triolo because he's looked a little bit better. He's not lighting anything on fire, but he has been better. How's he going to finish? I'm also interested in. But he does get hit by a pitch, so he's on the second time today. IKF singles, and now it's, okay, it's 8-1. There's 3 guys on base, 1 out. Is anything going to happen here? B-Ray comes up, sac fly from B-Ray. Okay, so now it's 8-2. O'Neill Cruz comes up. He gets a single. It's 8-3. Of course, it's 2 outs. You don't think anything's going to happen. And, of course, that's what happens. And Kutch comes on, and he flies out. But what I'm alluding to here is everything came in the 9th inning for the most part.
Yes.
That's it.
And I'll be honest, like, until I saw Kutch, look defeated, I'm like, oh, that ball's gone. This could be interesting. But then, it looked so nice off the bat. And then, and you can see Kutch is like, never mind. No, it was a good 9th inning when the game was kind of already out of reach. It's not good. It's not good enough. Like, you can't save the runs until the 9th inning, and especially when Ortiz isn't giving you the help that you need. Like, it needs to come sooner. It needs to be early in the game. You need to be getting the marsh, and we didn't do it. Like, we sprinkled our hits. There are some positives. Like Reynolds had 2 doubles, Cruz had 2 hits. Brian De La Cruz did have 2 hits today, surprisingly. So it's not like all bad, but it's certainly not good enough. It's certainly not good enough.
You know how I said how every team has this type of a game?
Yeah.
Well, every Brian De La Cruz has this type of game also. He got 2 hits today. Congrats. It happens. Yeah. It's baseball. I'm not reading too deep into that also.
No, because, it's hard because they got to combine 3 hits today. But since joining the Pirates, you want to guess how many OPS points IKF has dropped?
225.
He's dropped from 752 to 690, so about 60 points.
Oh, my bad. Drop. Okay, I thought you meant like in a difference.
And Brian De La Cruz has dropped by 42 since joining the Pittsburgh Pirates. Actually, sorry, 47. So, it's clear that we don't make hitters better. And if you want to assign that blame to Shelton, fine. If you want to assign that blame to Haynes, fine. If you want to assign that blame to whoever's in our minor league system, fine. But it's very clear, when you strike out this many times so often throughout the years and your hitters that you get don't get better, it's very clear that it's a top-to-down organizational problem because this happens so often.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've been bad. Now, Brian De La Cruz really isn't a good hitter. Historically, he hasn't. He's gotten worse every single year. Yes, he had the one good year, like his first year up. And again, it's progressively gotten worse every single year. There's reasons why I wasn't that entertained about having Brian De La Cruz. The thing about IKF is, as a utility guy, he's a good baseball player. He's not here for the offense. He's here for the glove. He can play everywhere, and he's competent with the bat. But he was having this career year where like the offense wasn't going to be sustainable. Like I could see a drop from him also. But the problem is not to this level.
Nope.
Like he's putting up now career worst with the Pirates. You know, he's gone from career best to not even normalizing to like, okay, this is what I am. It's now like career worst with this tenure, which again is short. It's only really a month and a half, but still to the point, it's been bad for him. It's been bad for both. They both come to the Pirates organizations and do their complete worst they've ever had.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The real IKF problem is that if Chapman leaves next year, he is making the fourth most amount of money on the team, if my math is right. And he's hitting like Reynolds, Keller, Hayes. Maybe I'm missing someone else, but like the point is that he is going to be making the fourth most amount of money on this team, and he is hitting like Jared Triolo. Yeah, it's not a great way to allocate your funds.
And lesser defense than Jared Triolo because they're putting him at short full time.
Yeah, well, that's
so,
another
like,
that's another issue I don't want to get into. But yeah, no, I understand why they wanted IKF, and they really didn't really give up much for him. But it's been really, really bad, and I was on board with the move. Like I thought it was a pretty solid move, and it hasn't worked out. But I really just think people need to be fired, hitting wise, organizationally, because it's not working.
It isn't.
Also, where is Billy Cook? I want to watch Billy Cook play baseball.
Right. Either way, Pirates lose 8-3. Wasn't a good game.
No.
So they'll be back tomorrow. It's a day game. Let's see what happens. Hey, they played pretty good baseball before. It's one bad game. Maybe they get back into playing at least semi-competent baseball tomorrow. We'll find out. But we'll be back with a post-game show to talk about it. Either way, for Neil and myself, let's get out of here, Neil.
All right. Have a good night, y'all.
Appreciate you guys watching. Those that did, I know you have better things to do on your Friday night. But as always, appreciate it. Go ahead and like, subscribe, do all the good stuff. We'll be back tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Hey, you all. Thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.